Hey guys, welcome back for another video. It's that time again to do our Week 3 NFL predictions. We're going to go over all 16 of our games, try to predict the winner, loser, and also take a look at our best bets, money lines, spreads, over-unders for all of our games. We're going to break them all down. First things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, let me know what your predictions are for this weekend. And if you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would appreciate it. We have a lot of injuries going on. Some of our star quarterbacks aren't going to be playing this weekend. It just makes it that much more interesting. Let's go and get started running through these games. The very first one we have is going to be our Thursday night game at 8:15 p.m. September 18th, our prime video game, the 0-2 Miami Dolphins. We like to call it like it is. What an awful start for the Dolphins. They'll be on the road here versus the 2-0, the Buffalo Bills. These are division rivals here. Miami consistently every single season always has issue with the Bills, but obviously the Bills are always one of the best teams in football. The only thing Miami actually has going for them here is it's not winter yet in Buffalo, so they're not going to play as bad as they could have played. Right now, just everything's going bad for Miami. The defense can't tackle. They're taking bad angles. The offense can't consistently move the ball. The big news, Tua hasn't gotten a concussion yet, so I guess that's one thing going in their favor. McDaniels is under a lot of pressure right now. They got to get that offense. You got to feed the ball somehow to Tyreek, but that requires Tua pushing the ball accurately down the field. That's been a big problem. Right now, the Bills 11.5-point favorites, a 49.5 over-under. Like I said, Bills 75.2% chance to walk away with the win here. Miami's averaging 17.5 points a game, throwing for 215, only running for 69.5. They have to find some way for that offensive line to hold up, open up some of those holes there for the run game, get Arch the ball, consistently move the ball on the ground. That's going to open up that play action deep pass for the Dolphins. And they're giving up 33 points a game, 237 through the air, 139 on the ground. Just bad numbers. Buffalo, one of the best overall offenses in the NFL. They were number 2 offense last season, 28.9 points a game. This season so far, the first 2 games, 35.5 points a game, 284 through the air, 166 on the ground, giving up 25. A lot of that's from that shootout game with the Baltimore Ravens. But this is a team that's very balanced on offense. You have the reigning MVP, Josh Allen. You have Cook at the running back position. You have not an elite wide receiver core, but they all do their job. They all play their role. Right now, they're giving up 124 through the air, 169 on the ground. Questionable on the ground, that front seven. Maybe Miami can get the run game going. Highly unlikely, though, that they'll be able to get into a shootout with the Bills. Give me Buffalo winning this one at home, 33-17. And moving on to our Sunday matchup, Sunday, September 21st at 1 p.m., the 2-0 Green Bay Packers on the road versus the 0-2 Cleveland Browns. The Browns only a 29.1% chance to win. The Packers a 70.7% chance to win. Green Bay, a lot of people are saying, so far through the first 2 weeks, they may be the most complete, the best team in the NFL so far. 7.5-point favorites, 42 over-under. Green Bay, they can do a little bit of everything. The offense is playing well. The defense, in the first 2 games, they've had a pretty tough schedule so far. They've played elite, getting after it, shutting down the run, getting after the passers. They're averaging 27 points a game, throwing for 228.5, running for 106.5, only giving up 15.5 points a game. That's going through a gauntlet of a first 2 games, and they're beating these teams handily. Front seven's playing well. Jordan Love is playing well. Reed's banged up, but obviously, with their additions they made in the offseason, still a very talented wide receiver core. They have one of the better running backs in the NFL. They can throw it, they can run it, they can play defense, they can beat you so many different ways. Only giving up 48.5 on the ground. Number 1 in the NFL rush defense. Cleveland, struggling on offense. They struggled on offense last season. Only averaged 15.5 points a game. That was dead last. Them and the Giants were kind of bouncing back and forth to who was going to have the worst offense last year. It's better, but it's not much better. They're only averaging 16.5 points a game. Flacco is the starting quarterback as of right now. The guy's about 59 years old. They're throwing for 242.5. He still has his arm, though. They just need the weapons on the offensive side to step up. They are averaging 82 on the ground, giving up 29 points a game. When you look at this Browns defense, they have a very good defense, but when you're on the field the entire game because the offense can't get first downs, kind of puts you in a tough spot. You get wore out by the second half. Myles Garrett can only do so much to hold the offense at bay, and they're giving up 45.5. So at least the run defense and the secondary, they're not playing bad, but they do get beat in the second half. I'm going to go with the Packers ultimately walking away with the win here. They take this one 24-14. And also at 1 p.m., the 2-0 Indianapolis Colts. How about the Colts coming out of nowhere? They won week 1 versus the Dolphins. They came out, they backed it up with another good performance week 2. And Daniel Jones, some people are starting to say he looks like Peyton Manning. That's a joke. I'm not serious. But he's playing the best quarterback play we've seen since Andrew Luck with the Colts. Maybe the Giants had it wrong. Maybe not. But so far through the first 2 games, he's making them look pretty bad. They're going to be on the road versus the 0-2 Tennessee Titans. Oh, the poor Tennessee Titans. Poor Cam Ward. He's been sacked 11 times through the first two games. I was reading a stat the other day. That's the most a quarterback has been sacked first two games of a season in 75 years for the NFL. And it's not his fault. He's not holding on to the ball too long. He's under constant, consistent pressure the entire time. Since the ball is hiked, he has someone in his face, and it doesn't help. Calvin Ridley and company, you guys got to hold on to the passes. A lot of drop passes here. They can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball. They don't play good defense. They have a god-awful offensive line. Titans 34.7% chance to win. The Colts a 65% chance. Maybe the Colts can get out to a 3-0 record. Indianapolis, 3.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. Colts are averaging 31 points a game. Who saw the Colts through the first two games? 31 points a game. Great for them. 284 through the air, 161.5 on the ground. Only giving up 18 points a game. Daniel Jones is playing well. Jonathan Taylor right now leads the NFL in rushing, just shy of 250 yards through the first two games. Tennessee, 15.5 points a game, throwing for 102.5, running for 90. Those are awful offensive numbers. They're not even averaging 200 yards of offense per game. They're giving up 26.5. They're giving up 150 on the ground. That means that their defense is on the field for a very long time. The other team can suck a clock. When you have Jonathan Taylor running the ball, he can consistently run the ball. He can catch the ball out the backfield. Colts are going to have the ball for probably the majority of this game. Give me the Colts walking away with the win here, 27-16. And our next game had one on CBS. It's a very difficult game to call because it's the battle of the backups. We're going to have the 2-0 Cincinnati Bengals getting off to a much better start than last season. Don't forget last year, they probably started the season around 0-3, 0-4. Defense couldn't stop anyone the entire season. Every single game turned into a shootout. They made a run second half, but Joe Burrow in very tough positions the entire season because every single game he was forced to have to throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns and led the NFL in passing. He got hurt last week. He's going to miss the next 3 months at least. So Browning's taking over. He will be starting this game. This is a guy who was cut by the Vikings a couple seasons ago. This game is more than business. It is personal. They'll be facing the 1-1 Minnesota Vikings, who also, J.J. McCarthy, not off to the best start so far this season, but this is technically his rookie year. He is banged up. You're probably going to see Carson Wentz here. So you have two guys. They're not starters. We haven't seen that much of them this season. A lot of unknowns. Which backup is going to play the worst? That's kind of a hard thing to gauge here. Minnesota, 55.8% chance to win at home. Cincinnati, 43.8%. Vikings are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 42.5. The Bengals are averaging 24 points a game, throwing for 198.5, running for 47 yards. They got to get those rush numbers up, giving up 21.5. Vikings, 16.5 points a game, throwing for 127, running for 99, giving up 23 points a game. But obviously, Carson Wentz, a lot of experience. The guy was a starter for a very long time here. He has a good defense left over from last season. He has Justin Jefferson. He has a solid run game. But across the way on the Bengals, a quarterback's best friend, Higgins, Chase, one of the best, if not the best, 2 wide receiver 1-2 combos. This game could go either way. Like I said, the unknown variables is the play of the backup. I hate having to pick a game off of that. Give me the home team. Give me the Vikings to walk away with a very close win here, 23-20. And this next game is also really setting up to be a very competitive matchup at 1 p.m. on CBS. We're going to have the 1-1 Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers here on the road versus the 1-1 New England Patriots, Drake May at the helm. Right now, the Patriots at home, Foxborough, a very difficult place for the road team to play. They have a 49.7% chance to win. The Steelers, a 49.9%, practically a 50-50 fan vote split right down the middle. Steelers are 1.5 favorites, so it's basically a pick 'em. The over-under is 44.5. Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, they are having success consistently moving the ball down the field. Rodgers, Warren, this team overall, though, where is that Mike Tomlin Steelers defense? They got to get that defense back on track. They're giving up way too many points. They're giving up yards to the air, yards on the ground. They're averaging 25.5 points a game. Throwing for 206, only running for 62.5. Get the run game in here. Keep the ball away from the Patriots. The way you win on the road is with a solid foundational run game. They're giving up 31.5 points a game. One of the worst defenses so far through the first 2 weeks. 245 through the air. Secondary is getting beating up. 149.5 on the ground. The front seven's getting beating up. At some point, Tomlin, you got to get this defense on track. That's your strength here. At least play your strength well. Patriots, 23 points a game. Throwing for 243.5, running for 91, giving up 23.5 points a game. But they might have the worst secondary in the NFL through the first 2 weeks, giving up 315 passing yards through the air. That is awful. There might be some opportunities for Rodgers, especially if they get the ground game going. The play action with this secondary could be a big hot point, and they're giving up 58.5 on the ground. At least they're shutting down the run game, but that doesn't bode well for the Steelers. I think this game could honestly go either way. Both of these teams can use this win Tough game to call here because you have the Patriots at home. You have the Steelers, but the Steelers are just giving up so many points. Give me the home team. Give me the Patriots to pull off a close upset. They win at 24-21. In this next game at 1 p.m. on Fox, it's one that I'm going to have to revisit later on. Both these teams playing solid football. Both these teams undefeated. The LA Rams 2-0 visiting the 2-0, the defending Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the Eagles 58.4% chance to win. The Rams are 41.2%. Philadelphia 3.5-point favorites, a 44.5 over-under. The Rams, though, overall, some of the best football in this young season. Obviously, they have Matthew Stafford. As long as he stays healthy, as long as the back's not bothering, he's a straight-up gunslinger. He can push the ball down the field. He has a big arm. He has Nakua, Devontae Adams. They have a great run game with Williams. They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you through the air. And never underestimate Nakua. The guy, he's a playmaker. Just get the ball to your playmakers. Give him the ball. He's going to make something happen with it. He's a fun guy to watch, especially if you have him on your fantasy team. He gets a lot of points because he gets receptions, he gets yards, he gets touches. And then you look at the Eagles. They are the defending Super Bowl champs. You got to put some respect on this team's name. Jalen Hurts, one of the best overall offensive rosters in the NFL. Smith, Brown, Saquon Barkley, the best running back coming off a 2,000-yard season. Jalen Hurts, he can throw it. He can run it, dual threat quarterback, and that tush push. If it comes down to a final drive, no one as of yet has been able to consistently, successfully stop the tush push. The Rams are averaging 23.5 points a game, throwing for 257, running for 110.5, only giving up 14 points a game. And then you have the Eagles also very good numbers, 22 points a game, throwing for 119, running for 140, giving up 18.5 points a game. They haven't had to rely on their offense yet this season because the defense has been playing so well, and they can run the ball. They can drain the clock fourth quarter. That's been the recipe so far for them to start the season undefeated. This game could honestly go either way. It's going to be who controls the fourth quarter, who controls the ground game. You got to give the edge to the Eagles, but I think it is very possible the Rams walk away with the upset. We will revisit this later in the week, but as of right now, give me the Rams getting the upset win here, 26-24. At some point, the Eagles have to lose one. On Fox at 1 p.m., the 0-2 New York Jets still in search of their search win on the road versus the undefeated, the 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How about Baker Mayfield? He was my comeback player last season. He had a great year last year. Threw for over 4,000 yards, had a top 5 overall offense. They lost their offense coordinator. This team has not missed a beat. Some very close wins, but wins nonetheless. And Baker Mayfield, crunch time, fourth quarter, has definitely stepped up this season. The Bucs, 71.5% chance to win. The Jets, a 28.3% chance. Buccaneers are 7-point favorites, a 44.5 over-under. When you're looking at the Jets here, you can get a high ceiling with Justin Fields. It's just what version of Justin Fields shows up this game. We know that he's a dual threat quarterback. He can run it. He can throw it. It's what he does with his legs that can be a game changer. And the guy can run for 100 yards. That extend plays, sucks up clock. They have Breece Hall. They have Garrett Wilson. They have a good running back, good wide receiver, and a quarterback who can do a little bit of everything. They're averaging 21 points a game, throwing for 133, giving up 141, giving up 32 points a game, though. Very questionable on the defensive side. Jets used to be known for their defense, not so much so far this season. The Buccaneers, 21.5 points a game, and they have a very deep offensive roster. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Egbuka, Mike Evans, and that's not even counting Chris Godwin when he's back to being fully healthy. They're throwing for 175, running for 135, giving up 19.5 points a game. They had a very physical front seven last year. So far, the season picked up where they left off, 76.5 points a game. I think the Bucs are going to dominate this game from kickoff, basically. The offense will get more than a one-possession win. They win this one by 2 scores. They pull off the W 27-17. And how about this next matchup on Fox at 1 p.m., the 1-1 Las Vegas Raiders. This is Pete Carroll's squad, veteran coach, but first year with this new scheme, new team. They're on the road versus the 1-1 Washington Commanders. This is a game I would have heavily taken Washington had they been fully healthy. They lost Austin Eckler. They probably lost Jaden Daniels this Sunday. He is listed as questionable, but guys, he's probably not going to be playing. If he doesn't suit up, that means you're going to get Marcus Mariota. The good thing about Mariota is he's an experienced quarterback, has a lot of starts under his belt. Washington, 59.7% chance to win this one, even with the question marks at the quarterback position. The Raiders have 40% chance to win. Washington's 3.5-point favorites. 44.5 over-under. Las Vegas, so much of this comes down to Geno Smith. Which version of Geno Smith shows up? He's a one of those quarterbacks that you can get multiple polar opposites any given Sunday. He can throw for 4 touchdowns. He can throw for 4 picks. Who shows up? They have Ashton Genty, young running back, Myers, the best tight end in the country, Brock Bowers. They have the weapons there. Defense, actually off to a pretty decent start this season. They're averaging 14.5 points a game. Obviously, the offense has been very lackluster. throwing for 241.5, running for 62, only giving up 16.5 points a game. Washington with Jaden Daniels, top 5 overall offense. He was the offensive player of the year last season. One of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen at the quarterback position. But if he doesn't start, take all that, throw it out the window because it's not going to help him. They're averaging 19.5, throwing for 195.5, running for 135.5, giving up 16.5 points a game. But if the offense cannot consistently move the ball with their dual threat quarterback out, with their running back out, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of these guys to step up. Scary Terry, Deebo Samuel, you got to help out Marcus Mariota here. But he's also a mobile quarterback. But with the question marks at the quarterback position for Washington, I got to go with the road team. Give me the Raiders winning this one, 23-17. And Fox at 1 p.m., the 1-1 Atlanta Falcons coming off a win. Looking at this roster, very talented roster. Michael Penix, though, he's kind of been up and down throughout the season. He has the weapons, though. Great wide receiver core. Pitts at tight end, Algiers, Bijan Robinson. They can throw it, they can run it. As long as that defense continues to play the way that it started the season, they got a real shot here to go on a pretty good run this season. They'll be on the road versus the 0-2 Carolina Panthers, still in search of their first win. One of the worst teams the last couple seasons, but second half of last year, they showed a lot of heart, a lot of fight. I think a lot of that came down to Chuba Hubbard and the run game, consistently moving the ball on the ground. That opened up the play action for Bryce Young. When he was able to scan the field, push the ball down the field, they kind of took off. But so far this season, the offense is back to struggling. Panthers 44.1% chance to win. The Falcons a 55.6. Falcons 5-point favorites, 43.5 over/under. Atlanta's averaging 21 points a game, throwing for 198.5, running for 143.5. So at least the offense is balanced, and they're only giving up 14.5 points a game, only 139.5 through the air. Secondary is playing really good right now. Panthers 16 points a game, throwing for 222.5. Running for 81, they're giving up 26.5 points a game, almost 200 through the air, 141 on the ground. What the Panthers need is their offense to get first downs, get that defense off the field, let them get some rest. But ultimately, I think the Falcons are going to have enough firepower here on the road. I don't trust the Panthers' offense. Atlanta wins this one 24-20, still a close game. 1 p.m. on CBS, the 0-2 Houston Texans. A lot of people did not see them starting out the season winless. On paper, you were hearing a lot of chatter this offseason that the Texans might have had the number 1 overall defense in the NFL. They have the weapons. Chubb, Nico Collins, when Collins went out last year, leading the NFL in receiving yards, hasn't gotten back on track so far this season. Season is still young, and Stroud is definitely not playing good football. 395 yards to the air, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Those numbers, they're not going to cut it. Houston, 46.4% chance to win this one on the road versus the 1-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Even though the Bengals lost Joe Burrow, Jake Browning still came back and beat the Jaguars. Come on, Jaguars. Cohen, Trevor Lawrence. I need to see some more for that. And where's Travis Hunter at? The guy's only playing like 15 snaps on each side of the ball. He was a top 3 overall pick. If you believed in him to take him that high, you got to put on the field a lot more than that. I have a lot of question marks about that, but that's a whole nother subject. Right now, Houston, 46.4% chance to win. Jacksonville at home, 53.2. The Jags are 1.5-point favorites, 44.5 over/under. Texans are averaging 14 points a game. They have weapons on offense. There's zero excuses why the offense should be this bad. Throwing for 166.5, running for 99, giving up 17 points a game. The defense is holding up, but they're only going to be able to hold up for so long. At some point, guys, Stroud and company, you got to move the chains. Jacksonville, 26.5 points a game. Under Cohen, the offense has not been bad at all. 219.5 through the air, 169.5 on the ground. Pretty good overall numbers, giving up 20.5 points a game. It was just some boneheaded mistakes. And Brian Thomas Jr., last game, some of those picks, some of those drops, they were on you, man. You got to come up with those passes. You are a legit wide receiver number 1. And Tootin looks good as the backup for NTN. Kind of a dual purpose running back situations there. I'm going to go with the Texans getting the win here. Jacksonville can definitely win this one. They are at home, but I think Houston, at some point, the offense has to explode. Defense should show up here. Texans win 24-21. CBS at 4:05 p.m., the 1-1 Denver Broncos on the road versus the undefeated, the 2-0 Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers playing good football right now. This is Sean Payton versus Harbaugh. Who's going to walk away with the win? 2 good coaches. You got to give Sean Payton some props for the way the Broncos finished last season. Through the first 4 to 5 games, Bo Nix looked awful. A lot of picks, could not hit anything. But then Sean Payton turned things around. They started coaching to Bo Nix's skill set. Get him out of the pocket, roll him out, get him in motion. Very accurate quarterback, dink and dunk passes. It worked wonders. They had a top 5 defense last season, top 10 overall offense. They could throw it, they could run it, they could shut down the run. Great team here on the road, though, versus Harbaugh. Harbaugh, He's not liking the run the ball right now, but they are vertically pushing the ball down the field. They are passing with success. Justin Herbert has looked great so far. They added to the weapons, and it's not just Ladd McConkey this season. They have a much improved wide receiver room, and then Omarion Hampton coming out of UNC. How about this running back? He could do a little bit of everything. Physical runner, and he catches the ball out the backfield. Right now, Chargers 57.1% chance to win. Broncos 42.6%. LA 2.5-point favorites, a 46 over-under. This is a very close game. This is two teams with top 6 overall defenses last season. Denver, 24 points a game, throwing for 186, running for 134.5, giving up 20.5 points a game. Bo Nix has been struggling so far this year. He has 382 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, but that's very reminiscent of the way he started last year. Started out really slow, took a while to get things going. Once he got going, though, things definitely turned around. But when is that going to happen this season? Is it this week? Is it 3 weeks from now? That's the unknown. And then LA on the other side, 23.5 points a game, throwing for 270, running for 85.5, only giving up 15 points a game. I have to go with the Chargers to win this one at home, but I think the defenses keep it close. LA wins 28-24. 4:05 p.m. on CBS, the 0-2 New Orleans Saints. Obviously, Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler's kind of all over the place right now. He has Kamara, he has Olave, he has Cook. So there's weapons there, but the Saints overall, this roster is just not as good as it used to be. They'll be on the road versus the 1-1 Seattle Seahawks. What Seattle at least has going for them, they don't have a great offense so far, but their defense has been playing exceptionally well. New coach, new system, new scheme here. Sam Darnold, Seattle Seahawks fans, they're hoping he could in some way try to get back to resembling the stats he put up with the Vikings last year, but that was a very talented team. Jones, Jennings, a lot of weapons on that. He doesn't have that here, but at least he has Jackson Smith. He has Kenneth Walker. There's some guys there from the push the ball off to. Seattle 64.6% chance to win. New Orleans 35.1. Seattle, though, at home, 7.5-point favorites, a 41.5 over-under. Seattle versus this New Orleans defense, they might have the opportunity to force a lot of turnovers here because sometimes Spencer Rattler gets a little careless. Sometimes he throws a beautiful deep ball. Sometimes he just does not look good in any way whatsoever. Saints are averaging 17 points a game, throwing for 197, running for 114, giving up 23 a game. Seahawks, 22 points a game, throwing for 212, running for 100.5, only giving up 17 points a game. 230 through the air. The Saints might be able to move the ball vertically, but it's all going to come down to the fourth quarter, running the ball. Give me the Seahawks winning with their defense at home. They win 28-17. 4:25 p.m. on Fox, the 1-1 Dallas Cowboys. Just think of how close they came to being undefeated 2-0. They almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs. If CeeDee Lamb just catches 1 or 2 of those passes, they'd be undefeated right now. That's football. That's the way it works. They'll be on the road versus the 0-2 Chicago Bears. The Bears, on offense, they definitely look better than they were last season, but still a lot of issues with the offense. Caleb Williams, you got to show me some more. But how about the defense? The Bears didn't have a bad defense last season. It is historically awful right now. Chicago, 46.3% chance to win. Dallas on the road, 53.3%. The Dallas Cowboys offense, it is coming back to life. They took a lot of steps backwards last season, but obviously they lost Dak Prescott last year. They have Williams. Williams running really good so far this season. 151 yards, one of the better wide receiver 1-2 combos. Pickens, CeeDee Lamb with 222 yards so far through the first 2 weeks. The Bears, though, 1-point favorites. That is as close to just calling it an outright pick 'em as it gets. A 50 over-under. Dallas, 30 points a game. Throwing for 265.5, running for 127, giving up 30.5. Obviously, this is not the Dallas defense from 3 years ago. It's pretty bad, but it could be a lot worse technically. They are giving up 283 through the air. Very questionable secondary. Bears, 22.5 points a game. Throwing for 201.5, running for 126.5. As bad as the Cowboys defense is, check out these numbers. 39.5 points a game. The Bears defense is what you call god-awful. 234 through the air, 149 on the ground. I don't trust it. I don't trust Caleb Williams in a very close game. Sometimes he holds the ball too long. He has the weapons this season. Odunze, Moore, get rid of the ball. Give it off to Swift. Dump it off. Don't try to get crazy back there holding the ball. Staring down receivers. If you see it, throw it. I have the Dallas winning this one, 27-21. On Fox at 4:25 p.m., the 2-0 Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray's team playing really good defense. The offense moving the ball well. Kyler Murray, he can sling it down the field. He's a mobile quarterback. He can extend plays with his legs. What I love about him is even when he runs, even when he completely takes off, he's always keeping his eye looking down the field, looking for the open targets. Pretty deep wide receiver room. They also have McBride. They have Benson. They're on the road here versus the San Francisco 49ers. 2-0 undefeated. The 49ers, in my personal opinion, I always say it, they had the best overall roster last season. when healthy. They were never healthy. They were completely banged up. They had at one point like all of their starters out at the offensive skill positions. Did not have a good year. Traded off some guys. They're not fully healthy right now. Obviously, Kittle's out. Brock Purdy's out. Those are massive losses, but Mac Jones actually played a pretty good game last week. 280 yards passing, 26 of 39, 3 picks. Can he replicate that production again? Can McCaffrey, the guy's always banged up. Just please, for the love of God, be healthy this Sunday. Pierce, Bosa's playing well. San Francisco 49ers, 47.2% chance to win. Cardinals, 52.4%. Very, very close here. Practically a 50-50 split. San Fran, 1.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. Cardinals are averaging 23.5. Throwing for 170.5, running for 114, giving up 17.5, pretty respectable numbers. 49ers, 21.5 points a game. Throwing for 266, they're having a lot of success pushing the ball down the field. Running for 98, giving up 17. Even though the 49ers are banged up, I think they win an extremely close game, 23-20. And our second to last game overall, but our final Friday night game at 8:20 p.m. on NBC, the 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs, the runner-ups to the Super Bowl last season. There is no way on earth that they can start out the regular season 0-3, right? That can't possibly happen, and they definitely can't lose their third to the 0-2 New York Giants. Both teams looking to their first win. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, this is the perfect opportunity. Get your first W, get things back on track, get some momentum going forward. Kansas City, 65.3% chance to win. The Giants, a 34.5, but the Giants are at home. Maybe that's going to help them out somehow. Right now, the Chiefs, 6.5-point favorites, 45 over under. KC, 19 points a game, throwing for 211, running for 109.5, giving up 23.5 points a game. A lot of very close losses. They're almost 2-0, but that's the way it works. Last season, you won all the close games so far. You are losing all of the close games, but it's only the first 2 weeks. Everything is still in front of you. No reason to panic. You still have Patrick Mahomes. As long as you have him, you'll be just fine. But at some point, you need a wide receiver number one to step up. You have Kelsey. Patrick Mahomes should not be the leading rusher right now. 123 rushing yards. The running back room, you got to step up. The wide receivers, you don't have Worthy. Brown, you got to step up. You're the next man up. The ball should be coming to you. Giants are averaging 21.5 points a game, throwing for 289.5. They were throwing for a lot of yards. One of the better passing offenses, but I'm sorry, I don't trust Russell Wilson to push the ball down the field. At some point, it's going to completely blow up. The fans are going to be crying for Jackson Dart. They're running for 79, giving up 30.5 points a game. Daboll might be, at some point, probably going to be getting fired this season. I do hate to say that. I don't want anyone to get fired, but the Giants have stunk for the last couple years here. This is the chance. The Chiefs here, the Chiefs have to win this game. It is not optional. To me, they win it. They win it easily. 30-16. And our final game is our Monday night game on ABC at 8:15 p.m. This is the game of the week. Two playoff caliber teams, two teams that have rosters that are built potentially to make a run at and compete for the Super Bowl. The 1-1 Detroit Lions, they got steamrolled week one. They rebounded last week, put up over 50 points. This is a team, lot of weapons on the offensive side. St. Brown, Williams, Montgomery, Gibbs, Goff. The big thing about Goff is he going to have a 4-touchdown game? Is he going to have a 2 or 3 pick game? But either way, when you look at this offense, it is loaded. The defense, a lot of talent on here. They've just been in some very high-scoring matchups so far. On the road versus the 1-1 Baltimore Ravens. They were so close to being 2-0. They had that game won versus the Buffalo Bills. Gave up 22 points fourth quarter. They lost it fair and square. But they have the firepower to go blow for blow with the Lions. Don't forget last season, Detroit 33.1 points a game. The number one offense in the NFL. The Ravens were number 2, 28 points a game. Right now, Baltimore 56.5% chance to win. Detroit a 43.2% chance to win. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. 51.5 over-under. And check out these numbers. Lions 32.5 points a game. Throwing for 267. Running for 111.5, giving up 24 points a game. They are much better than that. It's just they've had a very rough first 2 games. Baltimore, 40.5 points a game. The number one offense so far through the first 2 weeks. Throwing for 195.5, running for 141.5, giving up 29 points a game. Very shaky secondary last season. Still shaky this season so far. 298 pass yards given up, but they did have the number one rush defense last season. They got to get back to that front seven, getting a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. But they have Lamar Jackson. He's the guy that can win the MVP this season. He can throw for 4,000 to 4,500 yards. He can run for 800 to 1,000 yards. He can do a little bit of everything. And then you have that deep running back room. You have Derrick Henry just shy of 2,000 yards last season, and he's not slowing down in any way whatsoever. Flowers, Andrews, likely. There's so many weapons on this team. This is going to be a shootout. Just like the Buffalo game, it's going to go down to the fourth quarter. Could go down to the final possession. Give me the Ravens, though. They win this one, 30-26. It's a fun game. It could go either way. Guys, that's our breakdown, our picks, our predictions, our best bets for every single NFL game we have coming up for week 3 of the 2025 NFL season. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know what your picks are for this weekend. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment below. Click on that link. You can sign up there. I would appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.